Guys, welcome to another video on Brand Device where we talk about business and finance. And in this video, I want to show you how you can quickly register your business in Germany. And I'm not kidding when I tell you that this is the simplest thing that I've ever done throughout my time in Germany, because everything else is more complicated. Getting the insurance and stuff, that's complicated. If you're applying for a visa, you're trying to find a job, all of things are a lot more complicated than registering your business in Germany. And also, it doesn't cost a lot. Unfortunately, there are a lot of discouraging voices out there, but that's why I want you to actually just follow this video along and see how simple it is, so that if you're thinking about having some kind of side hustle, that means if you're having your full-time employment, you want to start a side business, you can do the Gewerbeanmeldung and you can legally start earning money on the side. If you're a student, you have to take permission from the Ausländersbehörde and you have to take permission from the university in order to do any kind of freelancing or self-employment. Now, there's a difference between freelancing and self-employment, and the main difference is that if you're doing something which is relevant in your own field, and this is generally applicable to the people who are graphic designers, who are video editors, who are into physiotherapy or something like that, they actually are then regarded as freelancers, even doctors, dentists, and many of these professions. But if you're anybody else and if you want to do anything other than your own profession, then you have to do a Gewerbeanmeldung. And also, if you're having any kind of questions whatsoever, generally the Finanzamt will really quickly help you out. You can just write them an email and they will tell you if you need to do a Gewerbeanmeldung, or you can just directly apply to the Finanzamt for freelancing permit. You can apply to the Finanzamt and tell them that you are going to start freelancing. So you have to then fill out a Fragebogen zur steuerlichen Erfassung. That is something we are going to discuss in another video. That pretty much is a very long document where you have to fill things out for the Finanzamt so that they understand how they are supposed to tax you once you have started a business. The Gewerbeanmeldung costs just 20 euros. It can differ from city to city, even state to state. So you have to keep that in mind. Just take a look at Google, just write your city name inside and write Gewerbeanmeldung, and you will find the costs and the documents and everything else you need. You generally need to carry your passport and your residence permit, and if you're a German citizen, then of course it is not a problem at all. Now I'm going to quickly take you to the screen to show you how the Gewerbeanmeldung works, and this is going to be the standard case for most of the cases. Let's say you want to do any kind of work on Fiverr, Upwork, and maybe you want to give some kind of tuitions and stuff like that. So in many of those cases, you will just have to fill out these simple things. But if you're registering a GmbH or a UG or any of the other companies, then it is going to be of course different. In those kind of cases, just get a lawyer. I have done the Gewerbeanmeldung myself, so I did not need any kind of support there, and now I'm going to show you how you can do it too. So the nice thing that you have for major cities, for example Hamburg, Berlin, Munich, they will also have the English instructions right next to it. So generally you do not have to worry about too much stuff, because when you're actually submitting this Gewerbeanmeldung to your Rathaus or to the Handelskammer, wherever you have to submit it, it also depends. They will tell you which address you have to submit it to. They will also check it and they will ask you in case there are some additional things that have to be filled out. So super simple. You start with F, Angaben zur Person. So you have the name. So name is here different. It's going to be the surname. Vorname is your first name. Then you put inside any kind of other name you had previously, because many times if you get married, then you might change your surname, so that name has to come here. Then the date of birth, then the place of birth and country, then which nationality you have, then your address. You put all of these details inside. Angaben zum Betrieb, so this is generally not relevant to you as long as you're registering a Einzelunternehmen or a self-employed person, something that I'm doing right now, just making YouTube videos, teaching online courses, and doing marketing consulting. So for all of those things, you don't need this stuff. So the section G is not related to you. Now you can also read these things down here. I'm going to put the link for this PDF in the description so that you can go through it and understand it too. So G is not relevant to you. Then in H you have Betriebsstätte, if you do not have any kind of separate place that you're renting out, some kind of shop or something, this is going to be your private home address. So you can just quickly fill it out, just like you filled out up here in the number 9. Hauptniederlassungen, frühere Betriebsstätte, this is not applicable to you because you're just starting out and maybe you do not have any kind of businesses previously, so you do not have to worry about it. Now, so generally your private address becomes your Betriebsstadt. Now in number 15, you have to explain what do you want to do, what is going to be the main activity. You could be doing multiple different activities like I'm doing right now. I'm earning money from YouTube, I'm earning money from affiliate marketing, I'm earning money from marketing consulting, I'm earning money from teaching online courses. So all of that I'm doing. But for example, if I have to like tell one thing, then I would say like, social media marketing. So you put that, then afterwards 16 is, are you going to like do this on the side first? And I would highly recommend that to everybody. If you're an employed person, never just quit your job because you want to start your business right away. You have to slowly transition into it. If I tell you my story, I started my studies back in 2016. At that time, I was doing my part-time job, I was doing a master's, and I was starting my YouTube. So I was doing these three things on the side. And then on the number 4, I was building my business. So I was doing all of these things, and I was using the resources and the money that I was receiving from my part-time job to build my business, which was Bharat in Germany at that time. And now, of course, we have Brandavise. So like, this is something you really have to remember. If you are going into self-employment, slowly transition into it. Don't just jump right away, because if you quit your job and you are going to like start full-time like self-employment on your own, then you have to remember that you will have to pay your health insurance and everything on your own, and all of that just becomes very painful. But if you're doing it on the side, you're doing it on top of your full-time employment, then of course all of these things do not affect you. You have to remember that when you are like registering a side business, you have to talk to your employer about it. You have to tell him that you're starting this and this. And if it is in the same field in which you're doing your job right now, then you have to get a permission, because then you're actually competing with the employer. So you have to keep these things in mind. But if you're a computer programmer or something and you want to make videos about lifestyle and vlogging and like, tech reviews and what do I know. So in those kind of cases, like, you do not need to take permission. You just have to notify your employer that you are going to do it. So keep this in mind. Now you click on yeah, so like you want to like do it on the side first. Another important thing to remember is that you can register your business 3 months back. That means, let's say right now you're in December or something, and like you started some activities back in September and you had some kind of business expenses. So to make sure that you're able to write them off, you have to then, pick the correct date. So that is very important. Also, like if you had already earned some kind of money previously in the previous 3 months, so like it is better to be on the safer side and like register the business a bit in advance. So number 18 is Art des angemeldeten Betriebs. So this is like industry, some kind of handyman stuff, trading or others. So if you're doing some online business, like this is just like, most of the times Zonstickers. And that is like when you're not doing any kind of like e-commerce and stuff, so in those kind of scenarios, it might be a bit different. Then Zahl der Geschäftsaufnahme tätigen Personen. So this is generally like if you're just starting yourself, so there is not going to be anything there. Keine. Then afterwards, you will click on eine Hauptniederlassung, because anyways, you're starting the business new. So that is not a problem. Then number 24 is going to be Neugründung. So you're like, doing it new. Then in case like you're a foreigner or you're doing some kind of activities which need permit. So here like they're asking for, do you have a permit? Erlaubnis is a permit. So generally like if you do not need it, so of course like 9. Now 29 is Handwerkbetrieb, so you do not need to do anything there, because this is like generally for people who are doing anything in carpentry, plumbing and like all of this stuff. Then Aufenthaltsgenehmigung. This is your residence permit. If you're a foreigner, you need to like, click on yes, and then you need to write the details. When was it given out and which authority gave it out to you? Then also if there's some kind of restrictions in that, then all of that also has to be mentioned here. So this part I would highly recommend you to fill out in front of the people who are going to register your business, because they generally help you out. They tell you, all right, like, if this is going to cause a problem or something. But the best practice is that you already go to the Ausländersbehörde, you go to the foreigner's office and you take the permission from them that you want to do XYZ, so that when you're going to the person who is going to register your business, you have that document with you. Now you have the permission from the Ausländersbehörde and from the university in front of you. Now number 32 you have date, and number 33 you have the sign. So like generally you just print it out and then afterwards you put the sign, and then if there's some kind of other things missing, you can do all of that there. So this is like not a problem at all. Alright, so when you're done with that, you just like sign it out, and if there's some kind of other details left, generally the people who are working on this case with you, like at the Rathaus or at the Handelskammer, they will like guide you through it, so you don't have to worry about these things too much. So generally it's very simple. And also like if you have any kind of questions that you want to discuss or anything else, you can also like book an appointment. I offer appointments there. And if there's some kind of like online business ideas that you want to work with, I also have a Google form. You can fill out the Google form with as much details as possible, so that if I see that there is some kind of scope, I can write back to you and give you some kind of advice on that, because soon I will also be having my own programs where I can help you build your own business. So in those kind of scenarios, I will see like, if your case really fits. If the answer is small, or like, if it's just like very casual, I'm not going to respond to those kind of entries. So please keep it in mind if you really want to get some kind of support and guidance, like, be more detailed, fill everything out as much as you can, and then I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't yet subscribed to the email newsletter for Brand Advice, you can do that with the link given in the description, because I tell you guys over and over again, you cannot rely on social media too much, because one day after the next, they could just like think about, I'm not going to show this important video to the viewers of this channel. So in those kind of scenarios, I can also like, send you notifications regarding it. All right, then I'll see you in the next one. Bye.